Hey guys, how we going? Alright, today we've got Monday's stream. So far looking at the charts, we can see we've gapped down with our new week opening gap. Over the Asian session, we've built up some buy side liquidity along with the London session as well. So we've got some equal highs here. That's a nice target that I'm looking for today. We can also see we got close to a large swing low on the daily time frame. If you look at your continuous contract chart for the NASDAQ, you'll be able to see that on there. We've already taken our Asia's low and moved higher, taking out what is this internal buy side. As we can see here, I've drawn on the 5-minute chart and 1-minute chart. So we'll wait for the open and see how that plays out to then get an idea of sort of what we want for the morning. Now, I'm not looking to push a trade this morning. I might not even be looking at the chart for that long. We are on the last day of the quarter, being the 31st of March. It's also a Monday with no news on NFP week after what was a very large Friday last week. I think we fell about 500, 600 points on Friday. So, you know, we can always expect Monday to be a little bit lackluster with a Friday like that. But nonetheless, we'll still look to take a trade for internal range liquidity. Even, you know, another reason why I like the equal highs here is because we have this new week opening gap above it as well. So keeping the new week opening gap as a draw for price to reach back into makes it sort of a bit more likely that the equal highs here are going to be reached. Three minutes here, so not long and we'll have the open. We'll wait to see where the first presented fair value gap lies. And we'll also wait to get it further into that 30-minute opening range for the New York session as well. This is our 730 low down here. Now, another thing I've taken note of mentally, but we also have an SMT divergence between these two highs, between NQ and ES. Something I might just keep on the 15-minute chart here. So the fact that we had SMT running the buy side here and then leading into post 9 a.m. we're getting this sort of sell-off. It's understandable. And the more we go lower, the more I like our chances of finding an opportunity to take a trade higher to the equal highs in the week opening gap. But also I would not be surprised if price were to just pump even lower than it is now, as we're going to have a very large opening range gap formed. As you can see here now on the 5-minute chart, 9:30 open, we have a about 240 point opening range gap, which is massive. Consequent encouragement of the opening range gap is within the new week opening gap. But the fact that we formed such a large gap means we might just continue in the direction of the opening of the gap, which is to the downside. Okay, this is currently SMT with ES as well. But that might not last for long. But we just want to be patient, sit and wait. Okay, NQ and ES very out of sync this morning already. ES was moving higher, okay, it's moving lower now, along with ES, but not much. There's still SMT here, so low taken. Okay, looks like we are plummeting, probably heading towards September 6th low. I would assume. And I mean, that's what you can get. A giant opening range gap over 200 points. So what do we expect? Price to go in the direction of the gap, which we can see it is now. There we go. Just tick through now. Okay, we're really dropping here. This now becomes our first presented fair value gap. And honestly, this could be the move for the morning. Just a downtrend that we're not able to catch unless you're chasing price, which is not what we do. But yeah, SMT at the highs. Large opening range gap to the downside. You know, if you're able to catch maybe this first wick higher at the 9:30 opening bell. Seems like that's all price offered for getting short. Look how close we are to 19,000 now as well. Pretty crazy. It's happened quicker than expected. The level I'm also going to keep an eye out for. 19,000, a nice whole level, institutional level, as ICT says. I'm happy sitting on my hands this morning if no option provides itself to me. And Q's dropped way more than ES as well. There will definitely be plenty of opportunity throughout this week. So you don't want to go all in on Monday expecting to make everything. Monday's where you want to use the price action that's given as a guide for how the rest of the week will play out. Even no matter how low we fall here, this is good for us because in a way we know that price will eventually want to reach back into the unfilled portion of this opening range gap, the equal highs we have, and then plus filling in this new week opening gap with more buy side delivery. So plenty of reasons for price to go higher eventually. Doesn't have to be today, doesn't even have to be this week. But we know at some point that'll want to happen. I'm also just going to draw out here, which I can see on my other chart, which might not be visible, is we have, what color do I want to make this? New week opening gap, May 5, 2024. Let's keep a note of this for now. All right, now it's slightly tough to figure out where we might want to go to towards the sell side. I've got plenty of levels which are hundreds of points away that price might want to reach into, but for today's Monday trading for the short term, I'm not too sure as to how far down we'd be willing to go today, which is why I'm not super eager in taking a potential short. But we'll still keep an eye out. See how price hangs around this new week opening gap. This is one that not many people have on their charts at the moment. I mean, if you're looking at the June contract, you're not going to see this. You're going to have to look on the continuous contract and look, you know, back into last year. So we got quite near the midpoint of the new week opening gap, overlapping with the bearish SIBI here. Also nearing the 950 to 1010 macro. Also, if I'm trading the mini contract right now, I need to be super careful as well. These are large ranges we're putting in, so although I've scrunched up my chart a bit, 10 points is that big. That's $200 if I'm trading one mini contract, so there's a lot at stake here. I could switch to a micro contract if I feel like it, to maybe afford myself that larger stop loss. We're somewhat rejecting the midpoint of the new week opening gap here. And we're now in the 1050 macro as well. Is this where we're going to see price take another drop or maybe retrace back into the range here? At the midpoint of the new week opening gap again. We seem to be breaking higher now. I wouldn't mind price coming back to touch the high of this new week opening gap, at the least, if it were to then move higher. That would be something I'd want to see.
Order filled.
And look at that. We'll see if we want to reach up into this first presented fair value gap now. Well, I am long from this, the top of this new week opening gap on a top step account. So I'm taking one contract off on the low of this first presented fair value gap, another at the midpoint, and then my last contract at the high here. I can pull that up in a minute to show you guys. I think I must stop if the if price does come back down here. I'll put myself to break even. Come on, just a couple ticks more. About 4 to be exact. Crazy ES has already pretty much reached back up to this 930 high as well. So definitely NQ's the weaker of the two. Money Tree, how you going, man? So ideally the candle bodies respect this midpoint of this fair value gap and then reach into the first presented fair value gap here. That's really what we want to see. And we're getting there. We're getting there.
Order filled.
Cool, there's one.
Order filled.
And the midpoint of this first presented fair value gap is going to be my last take profit. Now I'm taking this on my top step account, so I will show you guys when the trade is complete. I'll pull it over onto the screen.
Order filled.
And there we go. That is my full profit margin taken. Alright guys, just for your peace of mind that I took the trade, let me... How can I... So that's going to be me for the morning, guys. For those who popped in, thank you, Money Tree, for being one of the first people to talk in my chat. But yeah, that's how you can trade. Hopefully you found anything I shared insightful. I'm going to be doing this all week, so make sure you tune in, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.